Well, here on the Morning Blend, we like to talk about relationships, right? Normally we think of relationships in between person to person. Well, how's your relationship with money? Perhaps that is a very important relationship that we need to explore. And that's why we are lucky to have Kyle Winkfield back, of course, from Finley Alexander Wealth Management. Good morning, Kyle. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning to you.
So it's one of those relationships that really is impactful to our lives that maybe we don't necessarily think about. So let's go ahead and dive in. How is our relationship with money? How does it begin? And some's good, some maybe need to work on it a bit.
Yeah, you know what, Natalie? I think the thing that we need to understand is that what happens to us when we're a kid, like the relationship with our money, is based solely on our experience with it. And the first experience you're going to have with money are the people that raised you, whether it be your parents or your grandparents or aunt, uncle, or guardian. What was their relationship like with money? And then what you find out is that you start to adopt over time the same relationship they had. So if they had a really positive one, they saved money, they made saving fun, it wasn't sacrificial, you weren't always told you can't afford something, you can't have that, then you'll end up with those kind of habits as well. But the opposite's true too. If you grew up in a household that really was always struggling and never had it, then that's going to affect you one of two ways. One way is you'll might be someone who constantly saves and you end up being a hoarder, but you say to yourself, I'm a saver, and you give people who are frugal a bad name. And then on another side, you could say, hey, you know what? You only live once, and I grew up, stressed out about money, so I'm just going to enjoy it and spend it and have a good time. So we got to find balance.
Oh, I'm curious, Kyle. I always say that I'm transparent to a fault here on the Morning Blend. What about you, though? I'm going to ask you, what were you able to learn and how did that impact your relationship with money? But most importantly, you helping folks with money as you do today?
Now, that's a great question because you know what? When I was growing up, I had like a bucolic childhood. I mean, it was great. If I could get the DeLorean and go back in time and redo my childhood, I would. However, not everybody's perfect. And my parents, raising three boys and whatnot, it was always, we can't afford that, put that down. No, that's for rich people. No, no, no. And I don't know what the statistic is, but we hear no a lot right before we're like age 2. We hear it a couple of thousand times, I heard. But, so for me, it was one of those things where I was always feeling like I operated from a scarcity and hold on to it. I never can have enough. And I believe that about my financial situation. Then I met my wife, and she grew up totally opposite, where saving was fun and it was something that wasn't sacrificial, and it was never believed to be like I'm giving up something now so I can have something in the future, because that's kind of depressing. And so when I met her, she was like, hey, just put a little bit aside and start to develop that muscle, as it were, and then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes fun. And when it becomes fun, now you're talking, and now you've got financial security for the future, but you also can enjoy the journey along the way.
Kyle, I'm assuming right now, people at home, I know I'm doing it, you're kind of having that inner conversation thinking, well, how am I really, or how did I become this way? As we're all kind of thinking innerly what our thoughts are with money, what can we do to change it if we don't like some of those conversations that we're having with ourselves right now about our relationship?
That's a great question. You know what? The first thing is, just when you're having these inner conversations, are they positive? Are they negative? I heard someone say that the words we use become the experience. The words we use become the experience. So when you talk to yourself about saving money, is it negative, got some negative energy around it, or is it positive? And then just reframe that, and then take a practical step. Just get on a piece of paper. Let's don't overthink this and go journaling or anything like that. Just take out a piece of paper and say, while you're going through these conversations, what don't I want to see happen with my money? What do I like when I have money? And how do I feel when I've got enough in the bank, or whatever the phrase is for you? And then you say, okay, well, I'd like to save more money. Guess what you start doing? Take a little bit of your money and start saving it. Build the habit, because saving money is a habit. It has nothing to do with investment ideas or anything like that. It's just a habit. The same habit you have. You wake up in the morning and hopefully you brush your teeth and whatnot. Saving money is the same way. So starting some positive associations, and start small. You don't got to start big. People say 10%, 20% of your income. Hey, you know what? Start with $1. Like every week, just put $1 aside. I know it sounds crazy, but what we're trying to do is build the habit of putting some money aside and feeling good about it, and not having it stress you when you put it aside. Does that make sense?
It does. And you know what I love about this conversation, Kyle, is it's a great example of what you're able to do with your clients. Your straightforward approach, of course, education based, which is key. And I think that lends itself to us sharing your contact information so people can get in touch with you today. I know you love helping your clients. 15-minute complimentary consultation. If you call right now, there's the website and phone number on your screen. Kyle, thank you for being with us.